In this issue, we will talk about the three-body collection of science fiction. One sentence. The three-body problem set means that the three-body problem is going to invade the Earth. Humans beat him. The ups and downs of the storyline and exciting, but the three-body problem isn't just fascinating because he has a good story. What's more attractive is that he also possesses the magical power of thought-provoking. The story is triggered by Tresoloran and two unknown people in the human race. Both men changed the civilization of their own world. They are Tresoloran No 1379 and Earthman Yi Wenji. The story must first start with the basic situation of the Tresolorans. Tresolorans live 4.3 light years away from Earth, and humans are very close neighbors. The planet they live on is very pitted. Because of gravity, Tresolorans will be pulled back and forth. This causes the planet to be extremely cold at times, sometimes very hot. When it is cold, most life will be frozen to death. When it is hot, most life will be killed by heat, only at the right distance. The three-body civilization can flourish. There is another extreme possibility. This planet might be torn apart by the gravitational pull of three suns. Then the planet is over. The problem faced by three-body people is the very classic three-body problem in mathematics. This is where the name of the novel comes from. Because of the three-body problem, Tresolorans cannot accurately predict the future. We humans are used to the sun rising the next morning. But Tresolorans are not so lucky. The sun will not rise the next day. No Tresoloran knows. Tresolorans have always lived in this uncertainty. In this kind of environment, Tresolorans also evolved an ability to dehydrate, to sleep in harsh environments. As the saying goes, born in sorrow and die in peace. Tresoloran develops technology crazily, want to find a reliable planet, like the Earth can live there. Therefore, Tresolorans invested a lot of manpower and carefully monitor various signals in the universe every day. Don't want to miss a chance of finding a new home. Next, let's talk about Yi Wenji. He was the one who brought the Tresolorans here. 1947 Chinese scientist couple have a daughter. Yi Wenji. Happy life. But his father pleaded guilty during the Cultural Revolution because he was beaten to death in public by four female Red Guards who were all middle school students armed with belts. Mother also went crazy during later Yi Wenji joined the construction corps. He has witnessed the madness of these people. Mountains and grasslands have turned into deserts. In this process, he met a reporter by Muling. The two became friends. Later, this confidant wanted to send a letter to the central government. The construction course is not destroying the environment. Yi Wenji praised the letter after reading it. The whole letter is rich in content. Logical. Convinced him. But this reporter does a lot of hard work, causes severe hand tremors, hard to write well. So Yi Wenji copied a new letter for his confidant. Later, the superiors tracked down, think it's a reactionary act. So this confidant betrayed Yi Wenji. Said the letter was written by him. I don't know the contents of the letter. This time, all the responsibility was put on Yi Wenji. Yi Wenji was locked up in the detention center. At the detention center, he refused to sign. Framed his father's persecution intensified. All this ugliness made the anti-human seeds in his heart grow into towering trees. Totally desperate for people. Later, Yan Weining, a student of Yi Wenji's father, learned of the by getting him involved in the Red Coast project at Yi Wenji was rescued. The main purpose of the Red Dark project is to find aliens. In order to achieve a technological talent required for this program is but Yi Wenji's conditions just met. But the price of joining is permanent isolation on base. Desperate Yi Wenji agreed without hesitation. A few years later, Yi Wenji and his father's students' own kindness, Yan Weining got married and started a family, gave birth to a daughter, Yang Dong. During work, clever Yi Wenji uses the sun to strengthen the power of the antenna, Earth's first letter sent to space. It contains the basic information of the Earth's civilization. This signal is what Tresolorans always look for in their dreams. The person who received Yi Wenji's signal was a Tresoloran named No. Tresoloran civilization is highly centralized in extreme tyranny. Little respect for the individual. How disrespectful. Those who cannot work must die. After all, in this planetary environment, only by centralizing power can the civilization of Tresoloran be rapidly developed. Lived alone for most of his life. The listening station where E379 is located is thousands of years old. He's the only one here. Every day in a small house, he does the boring and repetitive low-level work of monitoring cosmic signals. In the free body world, it's a humble profession. At the bottom of society, no one pays attention to him. What's more sad is that he never heard anything in his life. Fate always meets by chance. 1379 received a signal from Yi Wenji. He was very moved when he saw the message. After all, he waited all his life. He understood the message sent by Yi Wenji through the self-interpretation system. He found that this distant planet is the paradise of his dreams, an ideal home for all free-body people. He didn't want to inform his superiors about it. He knew it meant the Earth would be invaded. And even if the Tresolarians successfully occupy the Earth, it has nothing to do with him. He will most likely lose his value in society. That is to say, U379's success once he changed his lonely and humble life. Maybe it could be worse. Gradually, he fell in love with this beautiful distant planet. Then, he replied this message to Yi Wenji. Don't answer. Don't answer. Don't answer. There is another piece of information. The general content is as follows. I am a pacifist. I do not know who you are. There are countless planets in the direction of your signal source, unable to determine your location. But as long as you reply, we will find. You will definitely invade the Earth. This piece of information is equivalent to making Tresolarians. I gave up the chance to wait one more time. Once this message is sent, 1379 immediately caught. Since 1379 is very old, the gave him freedom, want him to live until the day when all hope is lost on Earth. Break his dream. This trick is called murder. Murder. Very scary. At the same time, the ordered the execution of the remaining Liuqian Tresolarians related to this. Yi Wenji was surprised after receiving the reply from the alien. Heartbeat. He can't think calmly anymore. He can't control himself. He thinks there is no hope for humanity, so he wants to use the external force of Tresolarian to help human beings. They replied, bring it on. Come help us. Come invade us. I'm here to help you get her. Shortly after, Yi Wenji's superiors found something wrong. Guarded he's in contact with aliens. When the superior and her husband went to the bottom of the cliff to check the equipment, in order to ensure that the secret will not be leaked, saw the rope calmly and calmly, leading to the death of the leader. By the way, my husband was also killed. Later, the cliff fall incident was treated as an ordinary work accident. No one is suspicious of Marvin Yi. The moment the rope was cut, Yi Wenji has already made up his mind. From now on, my old lady is about to carry out the cause of revolution to the end. Tresolarian 1379was arrested just after making trouble. But when Yi Wenji replied, no one knew. He's in this situation where no one directly intervenes. A terrible decision was made for all mankind. Yi Wenji's message has been flying for 4 years. Arrived at the Trisemy ball, Tresolarians feel extremely happy about this sudden luck. After all, the Earth is so close. So Tresolarians used all their resources to build spaceships. After Tresolarian contacted Yi Wenji, asked him to do a good job. This part is the beginning of the whole story. 1379 and Yi Wenji, two unknown people, a Tresolarian who nearly missed his chance of survival, and the other has brought the nightmare of all mankind for hundreds of years. In the era of information occlusion, it is impossible for the nobody with no power to influence the civilization of the whole world. The two chatted and changed the civilizations of their respective planets over and over again. Here warn us. Letting aliens know where we are is a particularly silly thing to do. Hawking said almost the same point before. Don't make contact with aliens. Cultural revolution is over. Yi Wenji was finally rehabilitated out of the mountains, and you can go back to your alma mater to teach. Due to seniority, Yi Wenji was selected to be in charge of the site selection project. He met for the launch phase, a rich second-generation foreigner who loves nature in the Northwest. Evans was also the real person in charge of receiving Tresolarians on Earth. Although he is rich, but he still can't change people's damage to the Earth's environment. He also expects to help mankind through the power of aliens. So Evans and Yi Wenji decided to join hands to create Brilliant. The two became the founders of Trisolaris on Earth. They pay each other respect. Evans uttered a sentence that must be said when the Trisolaris organization accepts new members in the future. We are gay. Many years later, Evans secretly created a second Red Coast base on a giant ship. Building a base on a giant ship is for easy movement, easy to hide. According to the information provided by Yi Wenji, established communication with Trisolaris. People here call Yi Wenji the Supreme Commander. The purpose of this anti-human organization is very eradicate human tyranny. The world belongs to three bodies. Trisolarans sent something called a proton to seal off basic science on Earth. The proton is a super tiny robot. It's very small, can be accelerated to nearly the speed of light. Over 4 years. He can reach the Earth from Trisolaris. Trisolarans' research on the microcosm far surpasses that how protons are made is very obscure. Trisolaris scientists first unfold the protons in the composite particle, then build integrated circuits on the grand two-dimensional unfolded surface, and then shrink it back to the size of a normal proton. In this way, this microscopic particle becomes a super intelligent computer. Due to proton messing around, many outstanding scientists in the internationally renowned organization Science Boundary have committed suicide. It can be seen how the Trisolarans have forced human scientists invited to by a government agency. A policeman Shi Chan with a rough face, and a slovenly face, and a Professor Wen Miao, who studies nanomaterials, started. The list also included Yi Wenji's daughter Yan Dong. The family found out she was taking a lot of sleeping pills. Died in bed. Yan Dong's boyfriend Ding Yi showed Wan Miao and the others Yan Dong's suicide note. Suicide note is short, did not sign. The content is as follows: never existed. Will not exist in the future. I know it's irresponsible for me to do this, but no choice. At first, Shi Chan and Wan Miao couldn't get along like the two positive sets of magnets. But in later cooperation, the two had a relationship. Wan Miao, who was investigating, suddenly appeared in front of a group of numbers that could not disappear. This group of ghost countdowns can make Wan Miao miserable. When he took a break from work to find out the truth, countdown disappeared. Wan Miao discovered the countdown in the background of cosmic radiation through a radio telescope. He believed that there must be some kind of magical power that limited human science. This is actually what Proton did. He can not only limit the microscopic research of human beings, it can also be expanded into a microscopic study of two-dimensional interference. With Wan Miao and the others discovered a game called Free Body. This game is very real. Its contents are all restored as much as living possible. Environment. After several twists and Wan Miao cleared the game, received the news of participating in the three-body player offline. The person in charge asked the players if they agreed with the Trisolarans coming to Wan Miao pretended to agree to break into the enemy's interior. Who entered the organization was surprised. The spiritual leader of this organization is Yan Dong's elderly mother Yi Wenji. Soon after, Shi Chan and Wan Miao should cooperate to take down the Earth Rebels organization. Yi Wenji was captured alive. Then, everyone knew about the existence of the cruise ship at the second Red Face the traitors. Killing them is second. The most important thing is to get their chat records with Trisolaran. You can get a lot of enemy intelligence from chat records. You can also know where the opponent's vital points are. People have worked so hard to get this chat history. First, it's unreliable to catch on board. These guys are desperados, may die with data at any time. And no military strikes against the ship. If it explodes, it will be a failure. Under interrogation, people learned about a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. This ship will pass through the Panama Canal someday. This canal is the narrowest. The place is just 150 meters away. Shi Chan thought of a way. Set up two tall poles on both sides of the river. Super tough, nanoscale filaments pulled up on rods. Pull one every 50 meters. These invisible filaments are extremely sharp. If the ship passes through this wall of nanofilaments, boats and people will be cut up like tofu. Nobody on board had time to do anything. Certainly, the hard disk used to store various data will also be cut open, but it will be cut very flat. It's reversible. This operation is called Guzzing Project. The Guzzing Project was very successful. This ship is like a deck of cards. Swipe it apart. Milfoil. The boat was sliced into 50mm slices. Evans was also cut into 3 pieces. People found the desired information in the wreckage of the ship, a total of 28G. These materials have been carefully studied, got to very important pieces of information. The big bad news is that protons do nothing but block human technological development. He's still a super monitor. He uses his light speed movement ability to spy on everyone, interfere with individual scientists' optic nerves. Every word the man said, do everything. Tresolarians are watching the live broadcast. Such important information let humans know. Any plan discussed in the meeting will be known by Tresolarians. The success of Guzing project, in fact, it is the plan of Tresolarians to destroy these Earth rebels with the help of human beings. Because the thoughts of Tresolarians are transparent. They communicate directly through thought, won't lie. When they learned that humans had the ability to lie, very scared. After people learn that there is such a thing as protons can no longer interfere with human microscopic observations. Because once it extends into Ermi, are likely to be wiped out by humans. Wang Miao and some scientists before the ghost countdown. It's a trick played by the protons on the human retina. The second intelligence on Earth. Tresolarians are afraid of and human. Only afraid of this person. The Earth rebels tried to kill him many times. Spoiler in advance how logical this person is. How lonely. This story tells us, if a traitor is found in the organization, the most important thing is not to destroy it, but to obtain high-value information from the enemy. If the traitor is used well, you will be more advantageous than all the enemy. All subsequent strategies were developed based on these 2 pieces of information. There's a robot called Proton Messenger on Earth. He and Tresolarian wanted to kill a man named Luo Ji. An international conference was urgently called to discuss how to respond to a crisis. At this time, the Tresolarians showed everyone the same words in front of their eyes. You are bugs. When people all over the world heard the news, started to fall into despair. After Wang Miao learned the ins and outs of the whole incident, and Yan Dong's boyfriend Ding Yi borrowed wine to relieve worries, 2 scientists exclaiming, in the eyes of Tresolarians, human beings are bugs or extinct bug. They are playing with 9 big men. Long live the end. Long live bugs. Long live the sun. After Shi Chang saw, to cheer them up, the car took the 2 to a wheat field. They look at the wheat field. Locusts are flying here. Eat crops like a sandstorm. Seeing this scene, the 2 feel a little bit heartbroken. The gap between human and locust technology is much bigger than the gap between human and Tresolarian. We use airplanes to spray all kinds of pesticides, breed their natural enemies, desperately trying to destroy them. But they still fly between the sky and the earth. Not extinct. Tresolarians who regard humans as bugs seem to have forgotten a fact. Insects are weak, but never really wiped out. The 3-person wooden fish feel the dignity of life on Earth in this rainstorm of life. Wang Miao and Ding Yi carried. This wine is slowly spilled to the feet. They say it's from bugs.